All right, let's learn how to find the volume of a sphere. The volume of a sphere formula is V equals 4/3 pi times r cubed. We could go into a whole proof of showing how we got that formula, but we don't have time to do that in this video. You'll need to look that up in a different video. So let's use that to find the volume of this solid down here. So we're going to write out our formula first. And what do we need? We just need to know what the radius is, and then we can find the volume. The radius is 5 feet. So I'm going to plug that in. 5 cubed. And remember, we're using PEMDAS. We got to do the 5 cubed first. So 5 cubed is 125. Okay, then I'm going to multiply that by 4 and divide by 3. And I get 166.66 pi. We usually don't like to put decimals with pi, so let's go ahead and multiply that. So that's 523.5, actually 0.6. And it's feet cubed. If we did need to leave it in terms of pi, then we would want to go back to here, and instead of doing 125 times 4 and then divided by 3, we would just leave it in fraction form. So once again, if we have to leave it in terms of pi, we would multiply 4 times 125. And if this does not divide evenly, then we would just leave it like that. So that is also another form of the answer. So how do I know which formula to use? Well, if I see r cubed, then I know it has to do with the volume of a sphere. Okay, because let's think about that. Circumference, which is just a line, is 2 pi r. Area of a circle is pi r squared. And now volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. Those exponents match exactly how we have to write our units for each of those. So that helps us to figure that out. Let's try another one. You'll need to add this to your notes because this is not in your notes. What if we are given the circumference? Let's do number 3. What if we're given the circumference first? And the circumference is 9 pi. Well, what information do we need in order to find the volume? We need the radius. Can we find the radius from the circumference? Absolutely, because we also know that the circumference equals 2 pi times the radius. So I can set these two equal to each other and solve for r. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi. That cancels, and I get 9/2 equals r, or 4.5. So now I plug that into our volume formula, and I get 4/3 times pi times 4.5 cubed. So let's start with 4.5 cubed in the calculator, and we get 91.125. Does that divide by 3? Not evenly. Okay, 91.125 times 4 is 364.5. And then we divide by 3. 121.5 pi inches cubed, or 381.7 inches cubed. So those are our two options there. When you're doing homework in ALEKS, if it does not like this answer, then you'll need to change 121.5 back into a fraction. if you stick that into the calculator and hit the two arrows facing each other, it should put it into a fraction for you. So it would look like this.